He's terrible at clapping.
I was okay. It wasn't that bad.
Okay, so first of all, does anybody know about Obadiah? Raise your hands if you know what the book's about.
Or have you heard of him?
Or does anybody know somebody named Obadiah? All right, well, that's a good thing, I think. The book was written by Obadiah, and it is a prophecy of the fall of Edom. The verse is, "We have a message from the Lord. An envoy was sent to the nations to say, 'Rise, let us go against her for battle. See, I will make you small among the nations. You will be utterly despised. The pride of your heart has deceived you, you who live in the clefts of the rocks.'" Now that's cool because Edom was a nation carved in rocks. "And make your home on the heights, you who say to yourself, 'Who can bring me down to the ground?'" Before we get started, there's a few things we need to cover. First of all, the Edomites were enemies of the Jews, and they disliked the Jews, and that's why they were hidden out in the middle of the desert to attack Jewish tribes when they heard they were coming. And the nation was ruled by David and Solomon, I think at separate times. I don't think they both ruled together. And that's in 1 Chronicles 18, you can find that. Edom is Obadiah is from Judah, so he had to make a long trek when God told him to go and proclaim his word in Edom. I'm going to read more. The nation of Edom was proud against God, and that was God's problem with them. So, like I said, he called Obadiah to go and tell them. This is verse 12 in Obadiah 1:12. "You should not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune, nor rejoice over the people of Judah in the day of their destruction, nor boast so much in the day of their trouble. You should not march through the gates of my people in the day of their disaster, nor gloat over them in their calamity in the day of their disaster, nor seize their wealth in the day of their disaster. You should not wait at the crossroads to cut down their fugitives, nor hand over their survivors in their day of trouble. The day of the Lord is near for all nations. As you have done, it will be done to you. Your deeds will return upon your own head. Just as you drank my holy hill, so all the nations will drink continually. They will drink and be as if they had never been. But on Mount Zion will be deliverance, it will be holy, and Jacob will possess his inheritance."
Yeah.
What this is saying is that because of Edom's pride, the Lord has his way of thinking about it, and I think that starts at verse 15, where it says, "The day of the Lord is near." I underlined that part because I feel like that was stronger than the rest of it. So let's go over some things from 12 through 17. He says, "You should not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune, nor rejoice over the people of Judah in the day of their destruction." So that kind of ties two things into one. What does it mean to not, gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune? Anybody have some words on that? Okay. Not gloat over your brother in the day of his misfortune means to be humble towards your enemies and do like Jesus did. Verse 13. "You should not march through the gates of my people in the day of their disaster, nor gloat over them in their calamity." That's the same thing, basically. He repeats in the day of their disaster, and I think that is significant because it's ultimately about the fall of Edom, but it can also be applied in like a relationship with two people very easily. In the day of your brother's disaster, in the day of an enemy's disaster, don't take pride in their fall. And that's what he's saying to Edom. Don't take pride in the fall. 15. The day of the Lord is near for all nations. As you have done, it will be done to you. Your deeds will return upon your own head. I've heard that verse before, and I think it's in a lot of places in the Bible. To me, that means that pride is dangerous, because if you are arrogant and forgetful of God's word, and you don't abide by the way that you're supposed to live, it's hard to explain. Like, I think with the concept of hell, that your pride will be repaid to you, and your deeds will return upon you. Okay, transition. Around the same time as Obadiah was written, God had told, what's his name? Micaiah.
Lord appeared to Micaiah, and he actually gave him a prophecy, and that the defeat, the one with Gilead, which was a battle in Syria, he told him to go to King Ahab and tell him of this prophecy that he gave him. And it came true with the fall of Jerusalem. And also at this time, God was displeased with the Edomites, because as Judah was being ransacked by the Babylonians, Edomites went against God's people. So as like the main oppressor of Judah is ransacking the city, you see a smaller people go and also help out with that. So to put this in today's terms, you see a big guy knock a dude's stuff out of his hands, and he just walks away, with joy, because he's like a mad evil guy. And you see a smaller guy go over to that guy, and instead of helping him pick his stuff up, he picks it up and then walks away, instead of giving it to him. So hopefully you can relate to that. Edom was very arrogant. They were very they boasted against God, saying that they did not need him. They defied him because of the luck that they had right there. And some funny facts, possibly. After Edom was destroyed, some roamed and started wars with Judah, which is Jews.
Not Judah. Because their nation was destroyed, they hid out in the desert and did what they did before, just mobbed Jewish people when they were going different places, and then they eventually dissipated because there were no more Edomites. All the Edomites either became part of Judah when the kings took over in Judah, or they just died.
And then also, Obadiah means servant of the Lord, which is a cool name.
So take that into consideration. Obadiah's mom probably named him Obadiah, I'm assuming, unless
Some children are named those.
But so God knew all along. God had this plan for Obadiah in approximately 853 BC.
Approximately.
And God knew that there was this man in Judah named Obadiah, and he knew that Edom was going to be proud at this time, even before its creation. That at this time they were going to be proud. And he had this lady named her son Obadiah, and then one day, while Obadiah was out walking, the earth started shaking and the sky turned gray. And he had a vision, and he met the great Messiah. And this Messiah told him to go to Edom and rescue all these people, as many people that would listen to him. And so he did. And he wrote about it, and now we have the great book of Obadiah.
And then Esau, which is the twin brother of Jacob, even Esau, he actually set up that town of Edom, which eventually came corrupted. So that's also another cool thing to learn.
We're doing the song again at the end of this. I don't know if Dave wants to come up here and say anything. I don't see him. And he's not allowed to.
You guys can help me clap, okay? I need a
We can't hear him sing when you clap.
Yeah, don't just go ahead and do the song again.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We just need to do it. I won't clap that loud.
Don't clap at all.
Feel free to dance around.
Interpretive dance.
Yes.
I actually did.
Alright. Let's give this another shot. Now this here is a story about a fella I know. He was in the Bible, so he's pretty old. You might have heard of him. His name is Obadiah.
His name is Obadiah.
The good old Ob was out walking one day, and the earth started shaking and the sky turned gray. Then he had a vision. He met the great Messiah.
He met the great Messiah.
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah! Obadiah!
Obadiah.
Obadiah!
The Lord said, "Oh, I got a chore for you. It's a real important message that you gotta get to. The land of Edom, put them in their place.
Put him in the place.
Because the people in Edom have grown too proud. In the day they're lazy, all night they're loud. They've lost their way, I tell you. It's a darn disgrace."
It's a darn disgrace.
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah.
Obadiah!
So Ob traveled far in the hot noon sun in his dirty bare feet like the son of a gun to the land of Edom to rescue them from pride. He spoke real hard and then he spoke real mean. The words of the Lord made the people's heads sting and then the tribe was done and all wrote about his crazy ride. Gave us the book of
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah,
Obadiah!
Obadiah.
Woo! That was awesome, guys.
Is that better than the first one? I think it was better than the first one. I think I might have been on key half the time.
That's all we have for you guys.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys. Give him a round of applause. Like.